We must be here to stand up, support what the Congressional Black Caucus represents and does around a myriad of issues, from health and education, criminal justice reform. The list goes on and on.
What brings me is just, the conversations and the opportunity to find some solutions in those conversations.
Nobody will go to the general election until they hit these 3, 4, 5 things. How are you going to help us secure that HBCUs don't close? What are you going to do to make sure that urban schools are able to compete at a greater level? How do we keep our police officers accountable?
CBCF ALC 15 is critically important because it allows us to come together and think through ways policies and practices on the ground are working cooperatively so that we can advance African Americans in this country.
If it were not for the iPhone, all we would have is one side of a situation. So again, we are working with this movement so that we can take protests and turn it into policy.
We know with Black Lives Matter or with climate change, demonstration is important, but demonstration without legislation leads to frustration.
Go do what you want to do. Don't let anybody, bills or anything like that stop you from your passion, what you want to do. And you might as well start now.
Do not get complacent and think, oh, I got this first job and I'm making a little bit of money, that I'm good, because there's so much more out there.
People who are closest to the problem are closest to the solution, and we need to be better educated on how these policies land for them and for their neighbors and for their entire communities, and then to use their power and privilege to be able to do something about it.
And this year, for the 45th Annual Congressional Black Caucus Foundation Annual Legislative Conference, we're very interested in tackling the issues that have been brought to the forefront. We want to make sure that all Americans throughout this country has an opportunity to robustly pursue the American dream.
If you leave here and haven't put out one tweet, one Facebook post about the data and the information, educating your circles, more than an ad, more than an email from a politician, the most persuasive thing on people's behaviors is peer-to-peer relationships, including social media. So we've got to be educating our circles with the urgencies that exist on the federal level, state level when it comes to legislation.
One of my favorite parts about this whole event is they have a lot of great organizations from our community that are out here trying to help our people. You can get your blood pressure checked. There's all kinds of arts and crafts that are here that are incredible.
I learn a lot, not only in moderating, but in also just being an audience member and learning things that all the legislators and even just the people who are here attending are talking about. So I'm glad to be here. I wouldn't miss it, and it's an excellent opportunity for anybody who is concerned about what's going on in our country.